welcome into another game, and we're doing something different this time. I did say we were going to do this a long time ago and only really just got around to it, so I sifted through all the replays and things I'd got off you guys because you sent these in, and we're going to be looking at a game today from a lower tier of player, just because I put it out there. I really like helping other players, try and figure out what they're doing wrong, how can they improve as players, and just get to a higher standard in general. So I said straight off, send me your games, and I'll look at them, and I'll put one up, and we'll see what you're doing wrong and what you're doing right. So I've had a look at this video in advance, really, just because I wanted to just make sure I knew everything I was going to talk about. So, obviously, the first thing you really ever need to talk about is the town centre. It should always be producing something, or doing something, making something happen. Idle time in your town centre is what's going to make that feudal age just so much further away. A good time for feudal, I've said this on numerous occasions, but I'm going to say it again. 10:30, 10:40, that's a good 22 pop. That's a good time to be up in, that's what you should be aiming for. Any earlier than that, you're on bonus. Any later than that, you could get hit kind of hard with scouts if you're not up in time, because you won't be able to get those spears out to defend. Same deal with archers, you just can't get the archer ranges up, you can't get stables up. The sooner you can get them up, the better. That's the reason the 20 pop scout works so well, just because you can get those scouts out that little bit earlier, and it can really help you out. So of course, exploring as well. The next thing, scout should never be idle. Patrol flags, something I do recommend if your APM is really bad and you can't keep that scout moving. It's not the best way to scout because you can miss things extremely easily, but if your scout's either going to be still or using flags, use the flags, definitely. And sadly, the bad thing about this is I can't see what he's doing, which is bad. I can't really see what he's clicking, what he's trying to do, but good news is this town centre is still just fully equipped and just running straight, and the scout really hasn't stopped, so all good, as well as sending the first sheep out to scout. As long as it comes back before this one runs out, we're all safe there. Of course, as well, sheep is a little outside the town centre, means these two villages here will have to get up, even this one here, maybe that one should be alright, but they do have to get up, and they will have to walk to the town centre, which will, it doesn't sound like a lot, but it actually really helps if you keep it under the town centre, because then they kind of just stand up and sit back down straight away to get that food. So it does speed you up a little bit, and I should probably actually introduce right now, considering we're just waiting, and loom getting done now. So of course, loom, the later you can do it, the better, because it keeps your village production up. More villages you have out, the better your income will be, as you, well, keep gathering while you're not producing more villages. So it's a good thing. The later you get loom, the better. But of course, if you think you can lose your villager to boar, get it before you go for your boar. The house is going down as well. This is something I like to do. I always like to throw down a house before I get my boar. Stops me getting population blocked, because generally it's pretty early that you'll be getting your boar. And of course, if you do whack it down just in front of it, the boar will be forced to run around it before it can get to your villager. So that's helpful. Hasn't managed to find any extra sheep yet. This timing should be pretty decent, actually. So it looks like he's going for a pretty standard build. He's got his boar coming in, he's got his 6 there on food, he's got his 3 on wood, and I hope you really can't hear the rain. It just started coming down really heavily, which is weird because I'm in Australia. But forager in there should see a mill go down as soon as possible. Next 3 villagers should be headed over here, and nothing really too extreme to state at this point. The deer are in a decent place. They're not too far out of the way, they're not down over here or something. So he could potentially go for these deer as well, especially if he plants a mill, yep, right there. Could go for those deer if he chooses to. Could be a good plan, depends on if his opponent drushes. If his opponent drushes, it could really hurt. And here we go, you can see that it's not playing an idle villager sound. You can see there that it's saying we have none. But the fact is, it is idle, it's not doing anything. And that's because it just can't get on the board. So you've got to be really careful as well. The boar is under the town centre, but it's leaving an idle villager. So you've got to be careful to put that villager to work as soon as possible. Just like I always say, having a villager idle is essentially not having that villager. Scout has been idled over here for quite a while, actually, just looking at the mini-map. So, again, if you're really having trouble with that, patrol flags do work kind of well. And I really do hate saying that, but I always recommend it to people who have trouble with their APM. So, 4 currently on berries. Is he going to change that location? I don't know. And again, still looking quite good, nowhere near population blocking, and this villager here again, looks like, now this is something I don't agree with, this house placement here. Of course that house does need to go down, but I don't like the fact it's going to be on this gold. Later on, that could prevent a lot of gathering from that, which could really hurt. Not a lot, but just having no access to there, because potentially 2 villagers can get on there, and any around this side, depending on where you build your camp, of course, it's going to hurt their drop-off time. So that's an interesting one, and not luring that boar yet either. Of course, as soon as your villager goes out, you really want to be doing things with them, because again, if they do idle off, it's essentially not having one. Has found another 2 sheep, which is good. Looks like he's got a small engagement here with his scout. Looks like he initiated it, so he should win quite easily there. And something happened there. Why did that boar not lure? But again, this is going to really hurt his timing as well, because he doesn't want to move on to a sheep right now until he gets this boar in, because of course that sheep will pretty much be left to rot. Or of course leaving 1 or 2 on there. You can just leave them as they are, but it's really a waste of food, so you've got to be careful with how you're luring your boar. So pay attention to that boar lure, of course, really important to do, because of course it can get killed, and if it's late, it can really hurt you. So we're seeing the second farm come up, so nothing unusual yet. Of course, putting those injured villagers here, very smart play. And of course, having a few more villagers on wood now, definitely a smart move. Villagers after that should go to wood, because you will be needing quite a bit. And are we going to see another farm? Yes, dropping another farm there. This says he's going for scouts, so if he doesn't go for scouts right now, it's going to be something a little bit different, but you know, it happens. So just continuing to watch the economy right now, scouting for his opponent now. He's actually moving, missing 2 sheep, I believe. I think he's missing 2 sheep. His opponent looks like he has better exploration at this stage. I wouldn't say he's got a better thing as well. From what you've noted as well, you should see that we haven't even looked at our opponent yet. We haven't looked at the map. We're seeing everything through the eyes of I Am Big Noob, who is playing in the purple, which I haven't noted yet because I just wanted to get straight into it. And he's playing against VNS hand of Heo. Not Hero, Heo. Well, there we go. Anyway, I'm interested to see if he goes for these deer or not, because deer, of course, can give you a massive boost to your economy because it's gathered so fast, especially when you're playing as Mongols. He's actually playing as the Franks, by the way, so he will get a bonus on those farms, which is really handy to have, and his knights, as well, as we know, will receive that 20% extra HP instead of bloodlines, which means going for scouts, because I've seen these farms, going for scouts cannot always be the best thing. I mean, naturally as well, you won't get bloodlines till a little bit later, but if you really commit to scouts, they're going to be missing that 20 HP, which will really hurt in the end, especially if your opponent goes scouts as well. Spears can even be damaging as well. So the barracks only going up now for Hero, so there really shouldn't be any too big a deal of a drush, unless of course he's put a barracks up here or something, and going for some super awesome mega drush man-at-arms thing. But you know, generally people don't go for this kind of thing at idle time. I think he's going to try and age up, but idle, there we go, advancing. Still, not a bad time considering he's going up on 24 pop. What are we actually seeing right now? Let's have a look at his totals. We've got quite a few over here. We'll actually look right here. He's got 10 lumberjacks, 4 foragers, 3 farmers, 5 shepherds, and 1 builder. Builder being over here, of course. Hasn't gone for gold yet, so it doesn't look like he's going to be going for archers, as we've already deduced from these farms. He should be going for scouts, which is something which should be good. But anyway, until then, nothing really important to note about his economy, because it should stay relatively the same as he goes up to feudal, which is the whole reason. We might see some transfer over to gold. In fact, we might see him put a gold camp up, or even a barracks. Yes, there we go. But let's have a look at the map now from what he's seen. He's seen there's these pockets here of wood that are all towards the front. There's this one here as well, but towards the front. This one. Stone is over here, and the only real kind of backish wood he has is this one over here, but it's still not in a good position. This one over here, yeah, that's helpful, but if he puts another, you can't really put a town center or anything on it, because by then it will be mined up. Well, not mined up, cut up. So it's going to be really interesting to know where he wants to put that. This gold as well, it's not in the best position in the world. Of course it is forward, but it's not too far away from the town center, so it could be worse. This house is probably the biggest thing I don't agree with so far. Just the way that's been put down, I just don't like it. But still exploring around here. Barracks is going up. You're going to go for a gold camp. And if you are, please tell me you're going to put it on this side. No, he wants to do something else, which I can't see yet. He's going to forage bushes. Alright. So let's start talking about the map and from what he's seen. He knows that the rush distance it's fairly small. It's just straight across map. He's not spawned in this corner. Needs to run all the way down here. It's just pretty much straight across. These villages as well, some should go to wood, some should go to gold if he's planning on going for archers. If not, he's going to be going for a big trash unit composition. Keeping an eye on those archers, not archers, those villagers, really important. Looks like these ones will be Alright, so he's dropping a stable, so he is going to be going for scouts. So let's just note a few things from our opponent really quickly. He's put off the wall off around here, which if we unfog, we'll be able to see he's going to start continuing with. And he's put that gold camp up here, which he hasn't noticed. There is this big hill on the front here, which is going to make defending for here really easy. And he's scattered around the side here, and you can tell it's a lot flatter over here. So engagement-wise, coming across from around here could be the smarter option, because it's going to force his opponent to fight uphill rather than himself fighting uphill, which, as we know, it's a 25% bonus attacking downhill and a 25% loss attacking uphill. So that makes a big difference. This position over here as well, he knows the lumber camp's over here. He doesn't know if there's anything going on over here, and I just turned on view lock there. But again, coming around from this angle here, sitting behind here, could potentially get some villager kills. I don't know if he's going to have enough range until he gets up to castle, but still could try and bust through this wall down over here if he has a high amount of archers, and again could just try and walk up on top of this hill here, because of course, again, using that hill bonus to his advantage could really do a lot of damage to his opponents. Speaking of that though, he's not going archers, he's going scouts, so the best way to use this is probably attack where there are no spears is generally the best way to look at it. So at the moment, forage bushes, lumber, prime targets to look at. Also, we'll keep an eye on that town center, of course, because I can use that hotkey, and we'll just make sure it's always creating villagers. 25 sounds about right, though. I don't think he's missed anything. Have we seen the lumber upgrades, though? I can't tell. I didn't see it come up. You should have, though. It should be one of the first upgrades you get as soon as you get to feudal, because it is really important, especially if you're going at archers, and there's the archery range going down. Scouts are currently being created, so let's see what we've got. Nothing else too interesting. The gold mine has gone down on this side, which I do agree with kind of, because it's going to give a little bit more space, but still this house is going to be a problem, especially if he wants to start collecting from here. It is going to force the villagers to walk right around this way, instead of being able to go around this way quite easily. Not the biggest deal in the world, but it will slow you down. Over here as well, these villagers, again, about to run out in this forest bush, could send some of them to deer over now. This villager here was idle for a second. Spear is going out, and I don't know if he hasn't even seen his opponent go out with an archery range. Not an archery range, he's seen his opponent go out with 2 archery ranges, so probably could have said from, actually has he seen them? No, he hasn't seen them, he's about to see them now. So seeing them now though, you should be able to cut spear production. Yes, so no more spears, good. Of course, you just really want to minimize what you're doing with the least you are. Of course, getting some hits in with these scouts, brilliant idea there. Every bit of damage you can get in, every bit of idle time is just amazingly helpful to you. These guys over here, looks like he's still trying to chase down this scout. Of course, Red doing a good job keeping that scout alive, but these villagers over here could get attacked by that wolf, so now's a good time to actually move in. Archers are out in play though, could go for this one here potentially, and he is going to try and save this scout cover here. Of course, only on 5 HP, those archers should be able to deal with it quite easily, as well as seeing that spear over there. So keeping an eye on this town center, yes, everything seems good. Now the archery range going down, is going for that arch combo, which is all good. And let's see right here, still hasn't sent any of these out. I'm interested to see how long these are idled for, if they are at all. Because of course, like I always say, idle time equals bad. And just trying to keep an eye on everything. I'm keeping an eye on these white dots. Probably shouldn't engage here. Still idled. Yeah, bad engagement here to go for this one. Should have just got out of there straight away. There's nothing you're really going to be able to do about it. A lot of low HP scouts right now. A very, very low amount. And these guys are still idle. Could have sent them to gold or wood or something straight away. Definitely would have helped. Remember to use that idle villager button. In my case, I've changed it to mouse wheel down. Gives me idle villager. So I can flick between them kind of quickly, and it doesn't really take a lot of effort. Should be rebuilding that farm. Like I said, I was just checking the wheel there. We can check it kind of quickly. So, these villagers over here going to deer, yes, so trying to use them. Good plan. Again, this hill, keeping an eye on this is a good idea, because if a tower or something goes up on this, it's going to be quite hard to attack through there. And of course, attacking uphill anyway is just generally not a good idea. Going for these archers, of course. So again, in terms of harassment, what's he seen? There's a wall over here, he's seen this, he's seen the wall off go across the front, and he's seen this side here get walled off. Thing you could do, try and catch these villagers walling, because generally they will be by themselves, as we can see here. I believe one of these should be incredibly injured. Could have picked that villager off there, could have potentially picked this one off as well. So that's always a good thing to try and do. You can always try and catch your opponent while you're walling, and it looks like Red's actually moving out now. And I do believe that Big Noob right now should know he's going up against an archer force, so he should be able to either counter that with his own archers, or he should have some skirmishes out. Naturally, skirmishes costing food are generally the way not many people like to go. And actually, population block there for a second. very quick on the house though, so that's always good. If you're going to get population blocked, do it for a minimum amount of time. Exploration on the map at this stage is really good in my opinion. These scouts here will be taken out. Unless, nope, just laming for a bit there. Just one hit, run away, one hit, run away. This wall off over here should just about be done now. There we go, one villager on the other side there. This one here potentially again, could have picked that off with scouts, could have gone for this one as well. Definitely could have worked. Looks like we've got red gearing up for his attack here. Wall off here is good, it's going to protect this front gold. And of course, these deer villagers over here could be harassed by that, but again, I'm mostly expecting him to come around here and try and get in the back of the wood here. So that's something to note as well. If you look at your base, know where you would attack, and generally that's where your opponent will go for. In higher level games, of course. If you're in a real low level game, they'll just attack wherever. It's really hard to predict. And again, these archers over here should note these ones quite quickly. Come on, go back, go back, go back, go back, go back. Go back, go back, go back. Nope, going to lose some there. Looks like we are going to see red get some free kills. Watching your units like this is always really important to have. And there's those two sheep he missed. I knew he missed some. Haven't seen any blacksmith upgrades yet. He does have the wood to have it down, so he probably should. That's a good opinion of mine. There it is, actually. And we should be seeing that anytime soon, because he does have the food and gold available there to get that. And again, getting your upgrades as soon as possible. Really helpful as long as it's not delaying on any military production. Over here as well, could potentially have these queued as well, continuing those villages out. Could have this scout out, try and just get a little bit of harassment in here. If not, trying to get some scouting knowledge on your opponent. So there's a lot of things you could be doing right now, but I'm liking the way he's holding it down. He's doing it smart. He's just making sure these archers don't get in and harass his economy. He's done a good job keeping it safe so far. He's got this wall off over here. Scouts weren't really going to come in. He did have these spears out on time. As soon as he noticed his opponent wasn't going for a stable, he stopped. Well, he cut the production completely on spears, and we should see fletching. We should have seen fletching by now, especially because he wasn't producing any archers. If you need to, just build one skirmish and get that fletching out. Fletching is really important for archer micro battles. Of course, this scout over here, noticing that his opponent's going for pretty much... I think he does have the full wall off now. Yes, he does. So this is going to be a really hard one to engage, and he's not going to be able to catch that villager, sadly. So it's going to be a really hard one to try and get in here and get some harassment now. Like I've said, the best engagement options is point straight through here, force his opponent to fight him against the top of this hill. Going through here is really going to hurt him in the long run. So again, just holding out here, is he keeping his economy? Yes, he is. He's up to 56 population. Let's have a look at what he's actually got. He's got 14 farmers, 2 hunters, 17 lumberjacks, 5 miners, 1 idle villager, which is over here in the lumber camp by the looks of it. Of course, these villagers here now. Probably should drop that food off first, because you can potentially forget about that and lose it. And it looks like he's preparing to go up to Castle Age, honestly. Have we seen fletching yet? No, we've seen the armor upgrade first, actually, which is an interesting one. Looks like we've got red trying to move out again. He has switched into a bit of a skirmisher mix here, because of course he is starting to run low on gold, because he doesn't have enough gold villagers over here to support his archer ranges yet. Don't ask me how many you need on there to produce. I don't know off the top of my head. Chris is the one we need to get in contact for all that. He is the build order champion for that one. And here we go. Red's going to move in, so let's see how we see Hio try and attack, and we'll see how well Big Noob tries to defend it. The question is, how soon is he going to spot it? There we go, he knows it's there, he should be thinking about it. Yes, engaging with these skirmishes, mixing in a few skirmishes with your archers as well, always a good plan, because of course they do absorb so much extra damage. Fletching is on Hand of Hero right now, which means he's going to have a big advantage in this. He's going to be able to shoot, move back, shoot, move back, shoot, move back, which is just so important. That's why I said getting that fletching upgrade is a really important one to have. This scout as well should get taken down extremely quickly, because of course they're not skirmishers, doesn't have any armor upgrades on it, and there we go, no bloodlines as well, so no competition there whatsoever. Nearly having enough resources to go up to the Castle Age. Again, dropping production from these archer ranges. It's something really important you've got to keep trying and trying and trying again and again and again to get right. Also, if you notice, his wood is really high and his gold's probably lacking. So if he really needed to, take some of these villages, transfer them onto gold. That is something a lot of people seem to have problems with. You can change your economy as soon as you see it starting to stockpile too much of one resource. Looks like he's defending this quite well. Of course, he's only just got the fletching upgrade then, but his opponent is going to be going for this hill advantage by the looks of it, and he will try and get a few kills here. And not really microing, just letting them go nuts. So nothing too ridiculous. So what's the plan now? What should you be doing? At this stage, you are ahead. You should be going up to Castle Age already. There we go. So it's going up. Right now, you want to try and build up your army, and you want to try and get those researches done if you haven't, but you've got both of them, the really important ones, done. Could be a good chance to actually get those knight upgrades if you want to go for knights. But of course, he's playing against a Byzantines player, which means he could have a lot of spears out potentially to defend because they are quite cheap. So right now, massing up this army should be important for him, keeping a good eye on his economy, making sure he's got no overstocked resources. As I've said, transferring villages, definitely an idea if you really need to. And he should just really be looking to hold out, get to Castle Age, get those upgrades, and then push. Pushing right now would be a mistake unless he has a really big, good opportunity. Looks like we are actually going to see Red try and move out again. Nope, just patrolling here. Definitely smart from him, keeping this just area under control. Towering here as well. It is quite an open area, so protecting this gold is a pretty good plan. Scout cavalry here. Looks like he's going to go in and go for a good scout, actually. This is quite important. Scouting your opponent regularly can really help you. However, losing that one quite quickly. But knowing what your opponent's got military building-wise is really important. And actually, if you want to keep going for archers, could see you drop another archery range now. You do have a lot of wood available, and you're having a lot of trouble keeping that gold down. So, could potentially be a good idea there, unless you're stockpiling for knights. That would be the exception there. In that case, we should have already seen another stable go down, and we should have seen a lot more of those knight upgrades, which are really important, especially the armor ones for soaking up damage, not necessarily attacking ones. If you're going to be doing harassment, generally go for the armor upgrades, just because you can keep them just so little damage from town centers, and just any towers or things like that, you can just soak it up, which is really helpful. And is Red moving out now? Nope, just changing his patrol. Of course, just going out of these two archery ranges. And what are we seeing from you? You're still not going up. Looks like you're saving to go up. We'll be going up any second. Actually, Wheelbarrow finishing up there. Good timing. And of course, Wheelbarrow, really important tech to get before you go up. So going up now, so Big Noob has quite an advantage on his opponent here. And he needs to abuse that. He either needs to decide he's going to put some town centers up. He's going to go for that, try and get a big eco edge on his opponent. Or he can try and put a siege workshop down forward, get a mangonel out, try and damage all these archers really badly, get some battering rams out, and really push in here. This is a decision you really need to make right now. Are you going to play it for the long game, or are you going to go for this, or are you going to try and go for both? Both, of course, can be a real big problem when you're going for that. Should see some extra town centers drop straight away if he wants to go for that macro game. Doesn't look like the elite skirmishes is being done. No crossbows yet, which is kind of interesting. Bodkin being done, good play. And we should have seen some town centers drop by now. He does have enough wood to be able to do it, so he doesn't really need to overcommit right now to an aggressive stance, when he can just put down that as well and keep his economy nice and high. And we should see one drop down, actually. I'm surprised we haven't yet. Elite skirmish, though, should be finishing up. And we should be seeing crossbow as well. I think we actually saw it before there. Yes, Siege Workshop is going up out the front, but still got enough wood to put those town centers down. Should definitely be putting one down. One at the front could be helpful, one at the back here as well to defend the wood. Even one down over here instead of at the back could be a smart plan, because that wood is starting to get really low. Looks like we are going to see the push here. Bodkin has been done. I have stated that. We do have the crossbow and elite, which is really helpful, especially against your opponent here. Now, engaging at the front here, definitely not the best option. You do out-tech your opponent. He does have a tower up here, and does he know it? Yes, he knows there's a tower here. But engaging through here and forcing your opponent to even come to where you are, or even, actually his opponent's really walled off right now. He's going to need that battering ram to get in. His opponent will just know too early, so either he needs to get a mangonel or a battering ram out right now to start doing some damage. Knight is out, of course, for the Franks. That's good, no upgrades on it though. And here we see the little battle here. And these archers being on top of the hill, they're going to have a big bonus here. The only thing they don't have going for them is the range. They are down by 2 in that department. Is he going to go for a battering ram or a mangonel here? I know I would personally go for a mangonel, because that will really force these archers back. It'll give you so much extra. And town center has been dropped here, which is good. And of course, keeping those resources low, very good plan. Is he keeping that villager production stable? Yes, he is. And Castle Age there for here, which is going to be a really big deal, because he's going to be able to go up to crossbows now. So he hasn't managed to abuse his Castle Age advantage too much. He's only just dropped another town center. He hasn't really engaged or pushed with any of this. So the big difference here is that he hasn't gone up enough and hasn't pushed in enough to really make it worth it. As soon as you get up, you should have either dropped some town centers or gone for a push. Really would have made the difference there. Of course, not saying what you did was wrong. You definitely kept the pressure on. You were there, you were prominent, you were showing him that you are here in force. He can't move out, he's forced to defend. And Siege Workshop going up here, and a battering ram here as well, something I probably don't agree with. because of course it's going to be able to soak up some damage, but Mangonel at this point could be so much more deadly to these crossbowmen. It could force them right back even inside the base, and of course then you would have this hill under your control, and then you could bring out the battering ram, take down the tower. Looks like we are going to see an engagement here. These skirmishes should really help out. And let's go back to here, checking those town centers. Oh, come on, keep your macro up. This one's not doing anything. I haven't seen another one yet either. You could definitely have dropped one. Definitely could have dropped one over here or on this stone. Definitely a possibility there. Surprised we haven't seen one yet. These crossbows are going to be going for quite a bit of damage. Of course, engaging here not being the best option. I don't think he's even particularly microing, and he's still coming out pretty on top of this one. Skirmishers might just be able to take it, but it's going to come down to how much that ram absorbs. Looks like the skirmishers will be able to, but he has actually lost a lot of crossbows here, which is not helpful. Cavalry archers are coming out right now for a hand of Heo, which is going to make it a lot harder to deal with if he can't. Looks like he's going to be staying on the defensive, and the micro is not going to be really too prominent right now. So, of course, now would be a good time for a battering ram, because he can't really force these guys to do too much, can't get too much damage out of them. Town center going up here, do not agree with this. I know it's on the wood, it will protect the wood to a stage, but soon this is all going to be gone. Here could have been good, could have used that stone, could have used the wood on here. Here could have been good as well. Could have kept all this wood here to yourself. So that's probably one of the... And I'm just noting as well, this gold position here is horrible. That's just shocking. But anyway, pushing here, going for another battering ram. Definitely a good idea. Mangonel is out though, so it should be able to deal with that battering ram if it does come in. Knights though will be able to just take out this Mangonel here, unless this spear gets too much damage in there. And here comes the engagement by the looks of it, trying to take out that spearman before it gets too much damage on the Knights. These Knights' job though at this point is taking out this Mangonel, so they've played well there. And it looks like these units should be able to... Yes, skirmishes are effective against everything here, even that spearman. Knight is in the back, battering ram will be able to come through. So it's starting to look like Big Noob is having a big advantage here. Have we seen any town centers dropped by you? Yes, he's only got the one out right now. Surprised he hasn't dropped a second one somewhere. So of course, getting that bonus there is really important, as well as keeping villagers producing. You really... I think the goal is you want about 110 plus villagers. That's a good goal to set yourself. It means you'll always have enough resources there to do what you want, really. Until, of course, the gold starts to run out, and then you're in trouble, and then you start using the market. But, unless you have, like, 110, 120 villagers, don't stop producing them at all. You should just be constantly producing. Unless there are a few circumstances where you won't be. Arena is one. If you just decide to drop your eco and just go for a full assault there. Definitely seen that done before. Once you got in there, it should be a Mangonel. And yes, Mangonel there. So good defensive play from hand of here right now. But Big Noob playing a pretty good defensive, offensive really. He's kept this area completely under control. He's locked his opponent down. And something I haven't mentioned yet, he's had map control pretty much the entire game since he defeated the archers up here. Something really important to note. Map control in this game is everything. And looks like we're about to see the push here. Here come the battering rams. This Mangonel will be able to do a fair amount of damage to these skirmishes. These Knights really need to move in and try and get rid of it. Especially now these spears are out of the way, because they should just be able to soak up a lot of damage. No upgrades on them though, so they might take a bit of damage, but they should be able to do enough to take this Mangonel out. Especially with these spears so far behind. And is he going to do it? Yes, he should. And the battering ram's not being able to get through there. And yes, there we go, taking them out. Should retreat these, but no biggie at this point. That Knight going to be extremely effective versus these skirmishes. Of course, it does have the +2 on it there, so we could see quite a big Knight push here. But Cavalry Archers as well, also out in play. And it looks like that could be it for Hand of here. I don't know if he has what it takes to keep pushing back from here. We can probably speed things up now, honestly. Again, dropping villager production. Really need to keep that up there. You have more than enough food to keep it up. If you really need to, you can keep queuing. Again, idle villager button, really important to note. But so far you've had quite solid play. Your eco from Dark Age has been pretty good. That town center's always been working up until now. But of course, you are... using all these skirmishes here, you are trying to fight here. You are trying to win this fight as much as possible, by as much as possible. So it's understandable, you just get better with time. Remember your hotkeys, H to get back to that town center and make sure it's continuing to produce. Also, I don't think many people actually number their town centers after they hit Castle Age, but it can be good practice if you're having trouble just continuing keeping those villages up. Just tapping between hotkeys could be a good plan. And here come those battering rams, going to be able to do the damage that they really need. All these skirmishes are fully upgraded, good job. Battering rams, of course, really smart thing to bring forward. Could be pushing in with his skirmishes potentially now, trying to cut off here. Could be sitting around here. He has cut off gold. Could be trying to cut off this stone. But of course, he really does want to just hold this position down here and get this tower down. So again, house I did not like there. That's just not a nice position. Having this town center here, though, pretty much negates it. Good, you could have checked a gold mine up there early and it could have got rid of that as well. Town center would have been nice over here instead of here because, as you can see, not getting a lot of use out of it. Of course, he is getting the farms there, but of course could put farms up around it here as well. Knights, again, still in play. Could be worth putting a few more spears into this combination here. Knight should be taken out without too much hassle. There we go. And it looks like this is pretty much a GG for Hand Hero right now. He just does not have what it takes to come back. He has finally dropped his third town center, but really it's too late to be trying to get up on there. Your opponent should be way ahead of you. So what should you note from this? Your town center is good, your resource distribution is good. Wood was getting a bit high. You need to start sending a bit more of those wood villages. Could have sent some of them to gold potentially, because you do have quite high wood the entire game. And I know that's going to sound really awkward in playback, but that's something you really need to notice. Dropping those town centers really early if you have the resources available. You should have dropped them right on time because you had more than enough there to keep your production up. Kept those archer ranges up. Moving forward with these skirmishes now. Good. Could potentially this battering ram here. Could be over here. This one as well needs to take out the siege workshop. And if you can take these down, you're pretty much, it's GG. So, where was my trail of thought there? Extra town centers, good, soon as possible. Should have really stepped up with that. Engaging at the front here for the first engagement, maybe not the best idea. Could have tried to push around here. Try to catch those villages while they're walling. So really pay attention to your mini-map. That's something important to note as well. Because if you were paying attention, you would have noticed that the scouts went past. You would have seen the villages walling off here. And you might have even seen it get attacked by the wolf. So you could have done a lot more damage there. But I know, if you're new to the game, or you're not that high microing like this, it can be really hard to do. That's just something you've got to get used to. You can really start to push advantages when that happens. I don't think there's really else a lot to note out of this. You've done quite well so far. Of course, getting your upgrades, I have been noting them. Most of them were done pretty much straight away, which is brilliant. Going out with another archery range, definitely a good idea. I had no idea what was put down. I think it was put down on the front. This is good. Continuing to push forward with these units. Keeping that unit production up as well. You should be using all of them right now. You need to keep those resources as low as possible, because you just want to be getting the maximum efficiency you can get out of your units. Town center over here will go down, and this will be GG. House going up at the front, because of course keeping those forward villages are busy. Ram should be moving forward. Can we attack? But all in all, you've played a pretty solid game here, and you've managed to take it, which is good. So things that you really need to know, just watch your eco, get those town centers up, and look for the best possible attack positions. And if you can pick off your opponent's villages, do it. That's a big thing to note there, because you could have killed off these villages over here, and that would have been 2 less villagers. And then we got Hand of Hero out. So in the comments, let me know if you want to see more of these. I know it's the first one, it's probably not the best in the world, but if you want to see more games like this where I do just a little bit of analysis, try and help players get up with their skills, let me know. And of course, if there's something I've missed in the video that you've seen, feel free to comment, because I'm sure he will watch it. And actually, if he's watching, he can hear me right now. So the fact is, go down to the comments as well. Make sure there's nothing that I haven't missed, that people are like, why have you done this? You should be doing this, that I've missed. Because I'm actually focusing on a lot of different things at the moment. So thanks for watching, guys, and I really hope this has helped you out. I am Big Noob. Anyway.